Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about the Palantir of Orthanc. For 3 colorless, it's a legendary artifact with, at the beginning of your end step, put an influence counter on Palantir of Orthanc and scry 2, then target opponent may have you draw a card. If that player doesn't, you mill X cards, where X is the number of influence counters on Palantir of Orthanc, and that player loses life equal to the total mana value of those cards. So this is a really interesting design that is very, very slow unless it's in a very specific deck, which is a proliferate deck. That's where I think this card is going to find its perfect home, because you can proliferate the counters on it, and that makes it very difficult for your opponents to deny you the card draw. And let's not forget that it's not any card draw, it's card draw with scry 2 attached, so this is much better than a Howling Mine effect. The first few times this triggers, however, they are just going to let you mill that card and probably take some damage off of it, but if you choose an opponent that's fairly low, they might just let you draw a card anyway. Seeing as you have the scry 2 effect tacked on, you can kinda decide to put something really expensive on top of your library, which means that your opponents are more likely to let you draw the card, but it's all a bit of mind games, right? You're kinda telling them, oh, I have something really expensive here on top, you should let me draw. A deck where I see this being amazing is in Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos from Neon Dynasty. If you build around his effect that lets you deal damage equal to the exiled card, then you'll usually have a deck with a bunch of expensive things that you want to be exiling with Hidetsugu to deal massive amounts of damage. In that kind of deck, this Palantir works super well because they're in trouble whether they do or they don't. They're going to let you draw a card, which is card advantage, or they're going to allow you to deal a bunch of damage to their face, which is obviously also very good. As mentioned earlier, the other deck where this is really good is in a deck with a bunch of proliferate, because you can put a ton of counters on this, which means that your opponents are almost always going to let you draw the card, and again, that is some really good card advantage. That's a much better Phyrexian Arena. The fact that you can choose which opponent is going to make that decision is what makes it, I think, better than most of these choose cards, because usually these kind of effects tend to be pretty weak since you're giving the opponent the choice. However, we can kind of manipulate a lot of the factors here. We can manipulate the outcome by scrying an expensive card to the top. We can also manipulate the outcome by choosing an opponent with a very low life total. So I think it's a little bit better than those effects normally are. It is still a niche card, but it's going to see some play in certain decks, and in the decks that want it, it's probably going to be one of the better cards in the deck. So look forward to see this in action, because it seems like a pretty fun design. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!